I wonder. Could you see us?
Yep.
You can see us on YouTube because right now mine.
Let me check. Yeah, looks like we're coming in.
Yay!
Yeah, I could see it on YouTube from my end.
Okay, perfect. As long as you can see it on YouTube, that's the main thing.
Yeah.
That one viewer is just me loading it on my page. Oh, there it is. Yay! It's working. Okay. So shall we do our top 10 for 2023?
Yeah, sounds like a plan.
Sweet. Okay. So I'll just do a quick intro. Hey everybody, thanks for joining us today. We are 2 weeks into 2023. I'm late on the ball with this, but Cody Brockopp from the Brockopp Side has agreed to join me to talk about our top 10 movies for 2023, and we're just going to kind of loosely go back and forth here and talk about our top 10 movies for 2023. First off, Cody, welcome to the Dragon Movie Guy channel.
What's up? It's very lovely over here. Like what you done with the place.
Thank you. It's the great decorations here.
Yeah.
First off, congratulations on hitting 1,000 subscribers. Was that today, this
Thank
morning,
you.
that you hit 1,000?
Yeah, I got up at like 7:30, checked my phone, had a small panic attack, and oh, whoop, there it was. So
It's not a bad way to wake up in the morning. Getting to that 1,000 subscriber mark. That is a great
yeah,
milestone.
thank you.
So let's talk a little bit about what movies you're looking forward to watching this year, and uh, what movies made your top 10 that what didn't make your top 10 that might be a little surprising.
You want some honorable mentions, do you?
Yeah, like what
Okay.
when you came down to it, what was an honorable mention that didn't quite make it, but might be surprising that people would think were in your top 10.
Yeah. Well, I gotta say, putting together the top 10 list was a lot harder than I was anticipating because there are so many movies I'm looking forward to this year, but ultimately, push came to shove, and I think I got it down to a solid 10, but a few honorable mentions. A couple of them were like extremely close to the list. One of them being Dune Part 2. I really liked the first Dune. It was a fantastic cinema experience, so I can't wait to see what they do with Part 2. That would most likely be number 11 on my list, but we're not doing top 11, doing top 10, so there's that. Let's see. Also, there's the Barbie movie with Greta Gerwig, or Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling. I'm very curious as how that movie's gonna go. The trailers look promising. I like Greta Gerwig as a director, so I think that should be a cool time. Then to round out my honorable mentions, I've got the Super Mario Brothers movie. That one actually looks really promising from the trailers and everything, so I think that one has potential to be really good. And then the last one is Wonka, the Timothy Chalamet Willy Wonka origin prequel musical, whatever the hell. Uh, Again, a lot of potential there. I think it could be really cool, and I guess we'll just see how it goes.
Sweet, yeah. Those are all really good. Those all look like really good flicks too, and one of those made my top 10, but the others didn't.
Uh,
So what? Let's start off with your number 10. What's your number 10 movie?
all right, well, my number 10, and this might ruffle a few feathers when I say this, but the Flash movie. This is a movie that's been crowded in controversy because of a certain main star of the film. Won't get into the gory details there, and just so many delays upon delays and reshoots and just all other manner of madness with it. But at this point, it's down to just absolute morbid curiosity how it's going to turn out. But also from like what the test screenings have been saying, that's supposed to be like really good with the different test audiences. So I think there is going to be, at the end of the day, a good story to tell there. Plus, I'm mostly going into it for the return of Michael Keaton's Batman, which I'm extremely excited to see because it's not just a cameo, it's going to be a larger supporting role. So I think it'll be really cool to see him in action again. And also, it's going to be kind of the end of an era because the main DCEU is going to basically come to a close shortly after. So, yeah, it's just going to be one of those, just got to see what happens. But I'm definitely looking forward to it for those absurd reasons.
Yeah, we've been waiting for the Flash for a very long time, for years, and I saw somewhere that they announced the Flash movie the month, either the month of or the month before the Flash TV show was announced,
Yep,
and now
it's been
we're
that
season
long.
9 of the Flash about to start, and the release date of the Flash movie is going to happen right after the Flash TV show ends, after 9 seasons.
Yeah, that's some strange full circle stuff right there.
Yeah. uh, so let's do your number 9 as well.
My number nine. All right,
Yeah.
let me pull that up. All right, so my number nine is the only streaming movie on my list. It's going to be the yet untitled Community movie, which is coming straight to Peacock. Community is one of my all-time favorite shows. So when they finally announced they're doing a reunion movie, I was like, hell yeah, 6 seasons in a movie. So I can't wait to see what they do. Hopefully everybody comes back, Donald Glover included. Uh, of course, it's going to be the one thing that finally forces me to sign up for Peacock, but for Community, I'll do it.
Yeah, have they said whether Chevy Chase is coming back for this movie?
Uh,
Because I know
I
he left the show a season or two before it ended.
I doubt it, considering his character died in the last couple seasons. But
That'll that would answer that question. Pierce
yeah,
Pierce Hawthorne, right? Was his character name?
yeah, maybe he'll come back as a ghost. I don't know.
This is true. Chevy Chase still kicking it out there somewhere.
Yep.
My my number 10, just I'll just go through mine real quick. My number 10 is Champions, which
Hmm.
is it's sort of interesting. It's Woody Harrelson, Ernie Hudson, and Caitlin Olsen. And it's sort of The Ringer meets The Mighty Ducks. So it's Bobby Fairley of the Fairley Brothers directing the film. It's Woody Harrelson being forced by court order, sort of like the Mighty Ducks, into coaching a basketball team of special needs students.
Hmm.
And the trailers for it look sort of like the Ringers trailer, where it's a lot of comedy, a lot of feels, the heartfelt stuff, and a good sports movie too. So I'm fingers crossed. I'm hoping that turns out to be a good movie. That's Champions. It's
Oh,
coming out
nice.
March 24th. And then number 9 on my list is Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom.
Oh,
We still haven't gotten a trailer for it yet as of last night, but it's James Wan returning to direct and Jason Momoa returning, and Ben Affleck is showing up on the IMDb page as showing up as Bruce Wayne slash Batman. Initially, it's set for Christmas 2023, so 11 months from now. It was supposed to come out last month, Christmas 2022, but got
mm-hmm.
pushed back because all the Amber Heard legal stuff, and then all the COVID rendering issues and all that kind of stuff. So it got pushed back a year. So that's my number 9. It probably would be a lot higher if we had a trailer, but we don't have anything like that other than a few set photos as of yet. So
Yeah.
Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom is my number 9. Is my number 9.
Very
Uh,
nice.
s- so let's do your number 8 and number 7 kind of back to back.
Okay.
What's your number 8 movie for 2023?
My number 8 is going to be Shazam 2: Fury of the Gods. It was between that one and Aquaman, but I really enjoyed the first Shazam movie a lot. So of course, I'm naturally more excited for Shazam 2. I really liked Aquaman as well, but Shazam I thought was just a really well done, lower budget film. So it's gonna be great just to see Zachary Levi back in the role. I think he was perfectly cast for it. And I think it'll also be nice just to see what they do with a little bit of a higher budget too. And think that definitely shows in the trailer quite a bit. It's gonna be one of those kind of awkward situations because it's coming out right before the main DC slate kind of gets wiped from existence, so to speak. So it's what kind of impact it'll have beyond going to see it opening weekend, I don't know, but it's still a Shazam movie, so I'm looking forward to it. And as long as it's still a good time, that's all that matters to me.
Nice. And your number 7 movie as well?
My number 7 movie is another comic book movie, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. So this one, I've really enjoyed the Guardians of the Galaxy movies up until this point, and this one's going to be the grand conclusion to the main Guardians of the Galaxy storyline. The main trailer gave us a lot of emotional feels going into it, so a few characters are probably not going to make it to the very end, and it should be just a really heartfelt story about this found family having to just kind of come together one last time. And of course, the visuals look on par. It'll be some good humor. We got Adam Warlock coming in there, so I think it's one of those very safe bets that it's going to be a good time.
Nice. My number 8 is actually the exact same one as yours. My number 8 is Shazam: Fury of the Gods. Um, it's sort of interesting too. I really love the first film. I love the idea of bringing in that found family, the foster family aspect to it.
Hmm.
And also, it's interesting seeing Helen Mirren and Lucy Liu join the cast as wizards of their own, or wizardesses, whatever the right term is. I love the themes of family appear to be in the trailer for the sequel as well. So I am looking forward to
Hmm.
that as well. Um, and My number 7 movie was Dune 2. And
Oh, cool.
interesting with Dune 2 is obviously most of the cast is coming back, but they're also adding in Elvis actor, or the guy from the Elvis movie that played Elvis, Austin Butler. He's
Yeah.
joining the cast as Fade Routha Harkonnen. I'm probably butchering that quite a bit, but he's playing Fade Routha Harkonnen. And Florence Pugh is joining as Princess Irulan Corino. So we're getting a little bit of a Marvel injection there, as well as an Elvis injection. I love that first Dune movie. The effects and the CGI was actually really good, and the filmmaking was good. So I am looking
Yeah.
forward to seeing that. And also, they also list Christopher Walken as playing the Emperor, Emperor Shaddam the Fourth. So looking forward to Dune 2. That's my number 7 movie.
Very nice. Yeah, I
Uh,
think that's could definitely be a fantastic viewing experience.
yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they have that 4D experience like they saw when we saw the screening for that film.
Yeah, definitely.
So what is your number 6 and number 5 movies?
All right. Well, my number 6 is going to be another threequel with Creed 3. I absolutely love the Creed movies. I think they're some of the best examples of how to do a legacy sequel properly because it takes a lot of familiar elements from the Rocky movies, modernizes them, maintains the same feel and ingenuity to it, but just makes it come alive properly for a new audience. Michael B. Jordan, I've loved him in the main role, and he's directing this one, which is his directorial debut, so that's going to be really cool. Looks like it, and also we got Jonathan Majors playing the villain this time around, who is an actor I think we're going to be seeing a lot more of pretty soon here, since he's Kang the Conqueror in the MCU right now. So yeah, I think it's just shaping up to be an excellent third chapter in what's going to be a fantastic trilogy.
Yeah, and that Jonathan Majors has got so much heat on him right now, or not heat on him, but he's his career is really coming on, and there have been there's been reports from the test screenings that he blows everything out of the water. as the villain, or the as the opponent for Donnie in Creed
Mm-hmm.
3. So in fact, there was actually some rumors I heard that said that that's part of the reason why they pushed Ant-Man Ant-Man 3 back, was to get more of a bump from Jonathan Majors' role in Creed 3, some of that word of mouth for him as Kang the Conqueror.
Oh yeah, I
I
believe it because they're coming out a month after each other, so it makes sense because I think everybody's gonna want to see as much of him as possible pretty soon here.
Yeah, he really came on the scene in Lovecraft Country, and it's really fun to see his career blowing up as it is.
Yeah, definitely.
So what is your number 5 movie?
My number 5 is going to be John Wick Chapter 4. Again, I absolutely love the John Wick movies. How not only is it just really great, action sequences all around, a lot of practical effects, great gun choreography, gun fu, as the filmmakers have coined, but also they all have some really great world building to them. You learn just a little bit more about like the High Table and the Continental. Everything works out, and it's one of those franchises I don't think I will ever truly get sick of because they just keep finding new ways to keep it exciting, visually appealing, plenty of lore to go around. And also, we got some great new cast members, including Bill Skarsgård, as I believe he's the main villain, so that should be interesting. I'm kind of curious where the story will go, though, because for the last couple movies, it's been like John trying to find a way out while literally every assassin in the world is after him. So, how they will either bring that to a close or stretch it out for more sequels afterward will be interesting. But I'm always down to see Keanu Reeves kick ass. So, John Wick Chapter 4, there you go.
This is true. And if people have HBO Max, the first 3 movies are currently on HBO Max, so good chance to catch up there. I've only seen the first movie myself, and I love the first John Wick movie. The trailers for John Wick 4 look like they have a much bigger budget this time.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they get just a little bit bigger scale with each one. I think they get better with each one too. So definitely watch the other ones before Chapter 4 comes out. It's definitely worth it.
Nice. My number 6 is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
Ooh,
Um, Most of the cast returns from the first animated film. It's the first animated Spider-Man film, which won the Oscar for the best animated film of a couple years ago.
yeah.
For whatever reason, though, they dropped the part 1 from Across the Spider-Verse. I know they renamed the third film because they produced the second and third films at the same time. They renamed that one Beyond the Spider Verse, if I'm not
Mm-hmm.
mistaken. Uh, but the animation style was so well done in the first film. It's not a style that I'm a particular fan of, but the execution of that style in the Spider Verse films is amazing, and the uh, Miles Morales as a character is a lot of fun to watch too. So
Yeah.
that's my number 6, and my number 5 is John Wick Chapter 4. Um, Such a fun franchise, and yeah, Bill Skarsgård joined the cast, and I didn't see part 3 Parabellum, but seeing Lawrence Fishburne, I know he was in the third film, but seeing Lawrence Fishburne re-team up with Keanu Reeves in a Matrix reunion of sorts, when he wasn't
Mm-hmm.
in the Matrix part 4, it's kind of cool seeing that in the trailer. So John Wick Chapter 4 is my number 5 movie.
Oh, very nice.
So what's your, as we get to our top 4, what's your number 4 movie? And let's kind of go back and forth there on our number 4s from here on out.
Okay.
What's your number 4 movie for 2023?
Okay. My number 4 is going to be Oppenheimer, Christopher Nolan's next movie. Uh, Christopher Nolan's one of those directors. I'll go see whatever he makes, regardless of what the source material is. And of course, he's talking about the Manhattan Project with Robert Oppenheimer, the creator of the atomic bomb, and what it took to create such a devastating weapon and the effects of it. I think that's gonna be really cool. Plus, it's shot on proper 70 millimeter IMAX, which is going to be so freaking cool to see in a theater, assuming they get the proper projectors for that, which they did before. So I'm hoping they'll do the same. It's got an absolutely stellar all-star cast. And they've also said that they somehow recreated the atomic bomb blast practically, so I'm extremely curious how they pulled that off without killing everybody in sight. So, yeah, I can't wait for another Chris Nolan movie that's going to be releasing the same day as Barbie. So that's going to be like the best double feature of all time right there.
Yeah, get the best of both worlds. Get the best of the fake plastic Barbie dolls and the best in practical filmmaking as well. Also interesting to note with Oppenheimer. At least a week or so ago, when I looked up the trailer on YouTube, um, they're doing something interesting where they have a live. They have the trailer live on a loop, and
Hmm.
every single team time the trailer plays in that loop, it's updated with a countdown that's slowly counting down until the film is released 2 or 3 months from now, or whatever the launch date is
Yeah,
for it. So
yeah. And weirdly
that's
enough,
kind
there's
of a
always like, yeah. Oh,
yeah. No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, yeah, weirdly enough, there's always at least like 50 people watching that at a time too. So people just counting down, like, oh, only 4 more months, guys.
It'll be interesting to see. I can just foresee there's going to be some sort of news story out there where somebody's been watching the like 24/7 for the last 5 months, going, I must watch this, you
Yeah.
know, in a constant loop for the next 5 months. My number four is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Just sort of reiterating a lot of what you said. Um, I love the Guardians movies, especially Guardians of the Galaxy Part 1. It'll be really interesting to see whether the filmmaking is as well done this time, because um, the director James Gunn was fired from the film a couple years ago and went over to DC, shot the Suicide Squad, then with a lot of public outrage came back. So it's kind of finishing off this trilogy, 3 or 4 years late, kind of begrudgingly coming back. And obviously then James Gunn is now taking over the DCEU, or the DCU as it's called now. So it'll be interesting to see whether the filmmaking in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is as well done as the first two films, or if it's just sort of a finishing out the trilogy sort of thing.
I don't know about
Um,
coming back begrudgingly, because he definitely was wanting to do it, but it was just a matter of that weird little mishap. But it did result in getting us the Suicide Squad and Peacemaker and all that out of it. So I think it was a necessary evil for a few minutes there.
True, and we're now getting the DC universe in James Gunn's hands,
Yeah.
which it's always interesting too when a filmmaker goes up and is elevated to the executive role, as not just the content creator but the executive in charge. It'll be interesting because those are two different skill sets. So it'll be interesting to see if he can fill the Kevin Feige role with DC, along with his producing partner, or as on the back end side of things. So that's
Yeah.
my number four. Excited, yeah, totally excited for Guardians of the Galaxy Part 3. What's your number three movie for 2023?
All right. Well, my number three is going to be Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. I mean, with the 1-2 punch of Mission Impossible Fallout and Top Gun Maverick over the last few years, I will never question Tom Cruise ever again. Uh, it's kind of like the same things that are cool about seeing a Chris Nolan movie, where so much of it is actually practical, and you can tell, you can feel it with the experience, and all the incredible stunts that are going to be on display with this one, like Tom Cruise jumping off of a cliff on a motorcycle, then paragliding downward, and that's just what they've bothered to show us in the trailers. But the movies are just jam packed with all kinds of exciting action and stunts with that, great soundtrack and everything. It's gonna be one of those movies where it's like you have to go see it on a massive screen or you're watching it incorrectly. So, Mission Impossible, give it to me now. I can't wait.
I can't wait either, and it is also my number 3 movie,
Oh,
Dead
perfect.
Reckoning Part 1, and the thing that I'm really looking forward to with this film is they're shooting it's Part 1 because they're shooting both Part 1 and Part 2 of Dead Reckoning at the same time. This is Mission Impossible 7 and 8 that they're
Hmm.
producing simultaneously, which that sort of tends to have a mixed bag effect on the quality of the film. Obviously, we've seen Avatar 2 and 3 produced at the same time, Back to the Future 2 and 3 produced at the same time, and then The Matrix 2 and 3 also produced at the same time. So it'll be interesting to see whether each individual film has a great story arc individually, or whether it feels like we're just putting a bookmark at the end of this Part 1 and then just resuming with Part 2 a year from now.
Hmm.
But I'm like you. I'm a huge Tom Cruise fan. I remember watching the first Mission Impossible movie with him in theaters, directed by Brian De Palma back in '96, and it's really fun seeing all the different directors that have come into this series and kind of put their stamp on it. And Christopher McQuarrie kind of stepping up and doing a lot of the screenwriting in the last several ones, and directing this one. So it'll be really fun to see Mission Impossible Part 7. I believe this is for
Yeah.
Mission Impossible: The Dead Reckoning. What is hitting the top 2 now? What is your number 2 movie for 2023?
Well, not to get off topic for too long here, but looks like we've
Oh,
got the upside down in the chat from what I can
oh,
see from my end of things. Just want to be like, what's up, Dan?
hi Dan, good to see you.
Yeah. And I think Man of Movies in there too. Just want to make sure, everyone feels welcomed and everything.
Oh yes, welcome fellas. This is the first live stream on my channel, so we got some bugs that I'm trying to work out, but hopefully putting forth something out there that's kind of fun. And also, Dan and Jonathan, what are your top 10 movies for 2023, or what's your top 1 or 2 or 3? Put that in the comments section. Good seeing you guys here. Thanks for the support, guys. Yeah, and Man of Movie says, let's not kid ourselves. Barbie will be Best Picture next year. That would not be out of the realm of impossibility. I think that one actually looks
Yeah,
pretty good. Um, s-
absolutely.
yes. So Cody? What's your number 2 movie for 2023?
Well, my number two is one that you mentioned earlier. It's Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. It's one. It's if there was ever a movie that I was like injected into my veins immediately, it's that movie. I absolutely love the first movie an unrealistic amount. Everything from the animation style to the soundtrack to the characters, to the emotion, to just everything that movie encapsulates was just absolutely perfect for me. I can't wait to see more of not just the Spider Verse itself, but to see like where Miles' story continues from becoming the Spider-Man of his world and getting sucked into a greater Spider Verse, as it will. There'll probably be a bunch of fun cameos in there from other animated Spider-Man adaptations, like we saw from the trailer, like we saw like the Spectacular Spider-Man in one of the posters, the PS4 Spider-Man. So that'll be kind of cool just for like a little bit fan servicey, but I'm not so concerned about that as much as just seeing where this all goes. And I have complete faith in the filmmakers 100%. I can't wait. And then we have one more after that. So I'm going to be a very happy individual once that comes out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. June 2nd too. That's gonna be it's gonna be a really good way to kick off the month of June.
So many things coming in June. My goodness.
Oh gosh, yeah. My number 2 is actually it's actually a little known film. It's coming out March 24th. It's called A Good Person, directed by Zach Braff from uh, uh, the ER
Scrubs.
show. Yeah, Scrubs. Zach Braff from Scrubs, who of course did I'm brain farting in my own film that I'm bringing up here, but Zach Braff directing. He always does a lot of really good, fun character pieces. And in this film, we have Morgan Freeman playing a father who loses a child, and Florence Pugh plays someone who was involved with that child. And it's with Zach Braff, you always get a ton of feels, and it's fun seeing that from him as a director translating into a film. And it's hard to say. You see a trailer that's 2.5 minutes long, getting into a story like that, but just watching the trailer for A Good Person, you can kind of get that feel. You get the feels for the feels, if you will. Um, and I love little films that can tell a good story, that don't have to have $100 million budget. I still love the big blockbusters,
Hmm.
but when you have good storytelling, that can overcome having a low budget with a great cast, that's my number two movie for this year.
Very nice.
And what is so now that we're up to number one, what is your number one movie for 2023?
I think I told you this in person a couple weeks ago, so I know exactly what I'm going to say, but just 1 second here. Right there.
I love it.
Yes. My number one is Indiana Jones, The Dial of Destiny, Indiana Jones 5. I've been waiting. It'll have been a solid 15 years since the last Indiana Jones movie came out, so I've been anticipating this greatly ever since I was, like 10 years old at something. But yeah, Indiana Jones is one of those franchises that the fourth movie came out, regardless of what you want to say about the movie, it's definitely the worst one of the franchise, but I think it's got a few redeeming qualities to it, but that's a topic for another day. But yeah, I think it just came out at like just the right time because I just latched onto this franchise so heavily. The characters, the world, the soundtrack. It's one of those things you can easily get lost into, especially like when you've got like friends and family, like or like cousins and stuff, they're like the same age as you, and you all get into it together. So it becomes like this great bonding experience and everything. So it was it was just the perfect storm of things when that movie came out. So ever since then, I've been hoping, oh, I hope we could finally get another Indiana Jones movie at some point. And now we finally are after delay after delay after director change. Speaking of which, we got James Mangold of Logan, Ford versus Ferrari fame directing it. Which, if there was anybody to replace Steven Spielberg on this project, I think he's the absolute perfect choice because we've seen how he can handle not only historical epics, if you will, with Ford versus Ferrari, but also telling a story about a legacy character going through like kind of like he's on his last adventure, so to speak, with Logan. So and the trailer just looks absolutely promising. Hit all the feels with the Raiders March kicking in and those that last like minute 30 seconds or so.
Yep.
So yeah, pretty much that's all I'm going to talk about until the movie comes out. So you've been warned now.
Are we possibly going to get a history of hype video for the Indiana Jones series in anticipation of?
Maybe, but also I have a lot of Indiana Jones content planned anyway. But that's not out of the realm of possibility. But I've got plenty of cool fedora bullwhip induced shenanigans ready for now until the end of June. So be
And
ready.
so were you? Was the which came first, the Indiana Jones 4, or did you watch the original three Indiana Jones movies before Indiana Jones 4 came out? Which came first for you?
Oh yeah, well it was like early 2008, I want to say. So like I knew an Indiana Jones movie was coming out, but it was one of those series I'd always heard about, but I'd never seen the movies before. So I asked like my grandparents who have like a bunch of VHS and stuff, like, hey, do you have the Indiana Jones movies? Can we watch them? And then put them in, and I was like, this is the greatest shit ever. And then like just became totally obsessed with them. Then my cousins got into it. Then my friends at school got into it. So we all were like getting our Indiana Jones hats and reading like the novelizations and playing the Lego games, getting like toys and stuff for our birthday. It was again, it was just like the perfect storm of things, which kind of gives it a special place in my heart. The franchise does, so I can't wait to kind of get to finally see one more movie after all these years.
Yeah, I'm with you. That is it's also up there on my list. I'm a little bit older, so I grew up with the Indiana Jones movies in theaters. Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade came out when I was 14 ish.
Mm,
So I remember seeing Temple of Doom in theaters. I don't remember seeing Raiders in theaters because I would have
no,
been 6 or 7 at that point. But
yeah,
all three films came out when I was a kid, so
wow,
I've always loved those films, and then yeah, Part 4 came out, and I did. You know, the thing is too, Part 4 has a lot of things that are fair for criticism, but there was also a lot of stuff. If you watch the special features on Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull, Steven Spielberg really did try and go back to basics, and they shot a lot of that on film. Michael
mhm,
Kahn, his editor, was editing reel to reel, literally like how he started his career. So he really did put a lot of effort into Crystal Skull. So yeah, great to
yeah,
see Harrison Ford back as Indy, and yeah, James Mangold, amazing. What he did with Logan. Um, Really looking forward to that as well. And my number one film is Creed 3, which you already mentioned. I I'm really looking forward to this. I'm a huge Michael B. Jordan fan. Jonathan Majors, obviously, also, and it's interesting to think that this is going to be the first film in the Rocky universe without Sylvester Stallone.
no,
Um,
yeah, that's true.
I have mixed feelings about that. Obviously, this is a handoff more than a sequel to Rocky, and I love Rocky. I love Sylvester Stallone in that character. That's really the character that built his entire career. So the fact that this universe is keeping going, I'm really happy with, and really happy with what Michael B. Jordan has done with this role as Apollo Creed's son.
Yeah,
Um, so it'll be interesting to see, being the third film, sort of similar to Rocky 3 with the heart. You have the main character being at the top of his game, just like Rocky was in Rocky 3, and then along clubs comes in Rocky 3 Clubber Lang, Mr. T as Clubber Lang, kind of the guy that reminds him of his hard scrabble roots. And this one, it's Jonathan Majors as um, I forget his character's name, but Jonathan Majors coming along as the guy who was there with him as a kid, and
mhm,
didn't get the leg up that Donnie got, being adopted by his widow, by Apollo Creed's widow. So it'll be interesting to see that back and forth, and see how that plays out in Creed 3 too. So
yeah,
Creed 3 is my number one movie, and it's the third film, and it's opening on March 3rd on 3/3. So
yeah,
gotta love the kismet, the planning, and all that three. So Creed
yeah,
3 is my number one movie for 2023.
yeah. But seeing those fights in IMAX is gonna be so freaking cool too.
That is one of those that IMAX format, that digital format, and getting that faster that faster framing speed. It was really going to pay off, I think, in Creed 3. So that's my number one film. Uh, Looking at the let's see, looks like Upside Dan has he's looking forward to Dune 2 and Barbie as well. And Upside Dan also says he didn't dislike 4 as much as everyone, but only
Thank you,
saw
Dan.
only saw it once in theaters. Um, so that's the Upside Dan's reaction to our film choices. So thank you for watching, everybody. This has been a really fun experiment to try and get all of my to get a live stream up and going, and just kind of experiment with all the different technologies involved, and also trying to host something. I've been going on a lot of different people's podcasts as a guest, and this is me trying to step over into the host chair. So hopefully you guys have had fun if you're watching it now or live or on replay. If I leave it up, I don't know. But thank you for watching, Cody. Thank you for coming on. Do you have any thoughts on any closing thoughts on our slate of films for 2023?
I mean, I think this is definitely going to be a very stacked year for film, just like last year was. I mean, last year was just absolutely insane, but this one I think definitely could be somewhere in the same level of insanity with so many great movies, or potentially great movies. We can't say they're great yet because we haven't seen them yet. But yeah, and there's also like some other stuff that I'll be looking forward to later on, like for the Nickelodeon Child in Me, a Zoe 101 reunion movie just got announced. That'll be out later this year, so that could have potentially made my top 10 if I was feeling up to it, but it's definitely what I'm looking forward to. But yeah, I think we got plenty of exciting projects coming out for the next 11 months, and I can't wait to see how they turn out.
Now, I saw the announcement for Zoe 101, the Zoe 101 feature film. Is the entire cast coming back for
From,
that film?
from what it sounds like, yeah, at least all the main characters, Zoe, Chase, Dustin, Logan, Michael, all the main ones are coming back, I think. Uh, as far as some of the supporting cast, I'm not positive, but it sounds like just about everybody's coming back, which is even more exciting. Some people were joking that like, oh, why can't Austin Butler come back as like Zoe's ex love interest? I'm like, because he's Elvis now. Damn it, he's got better things to do. But
Was he in the
uh,
original show? In the original show?
yeah, he got his start with like Nickelodeon, Disney Channel shows. He like popped
Mm.
up in a few different ones. Uh, yeah, because he was Zoe's love interest for a little while when I think Chase was like not in the show for a little bit, and yeah, so he was on there. He was on a bunch of Nickelodeon stuff. So it's kind of crazy when you see a actor from like those very kind of corny, get yourself trapped in a box kind of roots to being in some of the biggest movies of the year. So which is pretty cool.
That's funny.
Uh,
I
yeah,
remember looking at I was looking up Austin Butler's IMDb page recently, and I was looking up a lot of his back parts from the last 6, 7, 8 years. I didn't get that far back though. I had no idea he was on Zoe 101 back in the day.
yeah. It looks like Dan's saying he didn't see Dustin on the cast list, so I could be mistaken that Dustin's not coming back. So don't quote me on that. So I might be wrong on that. So good catch there, Dan.
It's always fun to see though, even if he's not there for the entire film, if he just shows up for a cameo for a day or two of shooting, um, just as a favor for his friends for giving him a start in acting. So
Yeah, I'm
it'll
just
be
glad it's also
interesting to
good.
see.
Yeah, I'm just glad it's a reunion movie, not a reunion show, though, because a show would be cool, yeah, but like, what would you do with a show? Be like, oh, hey, we're back at PCA again somehow, even though we're 30 now. But I
Well, yeah.
can't wait to see
What would they come back as? Like come back as teachers at the school? Like yeah, that is one thing. And it's hard to
I don't
when a
know.
show is to that tied to very specific time in life. It's very hard to do a reunion show. You're right about
Yeah,
that. Like
yeah.
it's
I'm
it's
sure
it,
they'll. Yeah, I'm sorry.
it's the
Good.
exact reason why the cast of Friends says they never want to do a reunion show for Friends, because Friends is about that same exact time of, or well, it's a very specific time of life from your 20s to your 30s. So why would they come back in their 50s and 60s?
Yeah,
So,
yeah. I'm sure they'll have PCA in there somehow, like their kids are going to it or something. But yeah, if that theme song kicks in at some point, that's probably just gonna make me tear up with nostalgia because it's one of those theme songs that just it gets me going whenever it plays or like when I watch an old episode.
now, that does bring up another an interesting topic. Do you like opening credits and theme songs?
Mm, if they're good theme songs, yeah,
Because so many people nowadays want to press the skip intro button and just get into
yeah,
the show. I'm also someone, I love a good theme song and a good opening credits.
yeah,
But I understand why people don't. But But yeah, those theme songs, if it's a good one, they can really take you back to that time and place.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those things where I think it just depends on the show because some of them work perfectly with like a short little title card with like a little riff on their theme song, like Breaking Bad, Arrow, a couple ones like that, where it's just boom, title card, main motif, get back to the show. Those are fine, but then other ones like Daredevil, where it's just like the intro is a work of art and the theme song is fantastic. It's like, don't you skip that, or I'll find you, sort of thing. So it's a case by case thing, but all those early 2000s Nickelodeon Disney shows, I will never skip the theme songs. They take me back immediately. So
Nice. Yeah, I'm the same way. I love opening credits and opening theme songs, and to me, it's very much a rite of passage, and it's very yeah, time and place kind of takes you back to when you originally saw the show. So
yeah,
that's been our show, folks. Thanks for tuning in, and thanks for watching. And let us know in the comments section what your top 3, 4, 5 films for 2023 are. So
yeah.
I've been Dragon Movie Guy. Thank you, Cody from the Brockopp Side, and thanks for watching. And